The Fast Food Podcast.
All right, so we got quite a few things to talk about today. We've got loads of pop culture news. So I feel like today we're just going to just empty the clip on that, talk about what we need to talk about, bypass anything that we discuss, that we bring up and just doesn't need to be spoken about. Feel free. This is like a nice chilled episode, I feel like we should have. Let's have fun today. Cameron on Drink Champs. Anyone see the interview?
I have been waiting for Cam to be on Drink Champs.
It's got a good bid, innit?
Like, like when Drink Champs came out, and they've had a nice mixture of guests, to be fair.
Absolutely.
But it was just like, I want Cam, and I thought Cam would have gone on there when he dropped Purple Haze 2, which was like 2 years ago, I think. And he wasn't on there, but I've tweeted Nori and I've put on the IG's comment section, you need to get Cam on the show.
I've tweeted Nori and said, you need to let people talk on your show. What did I say? What happened? What's going on? What's happening?
And in the immortal words of Emmanuel Noriega, you're going to relax.
Bro, so, okay, Trim, so basically, it's a great interview.
Okay, bring me
When
in.
you get time, because it's 3 hours.
Yeah, 100.
When you get time, it's a lot. So I don't want to spoil too much on that, but there is a few things that we
got answered.
Of
course.
Like,
and I think that's
I don't mind. No,
I think that's the purpose of Nori's platform.
Yeah.
Nori has a way, obviously the weed and the alcohol helps, but Nori being a rapper, I think more so than Joe, Nori has that very laid-back, approachable way of asking questions.
Absolutely.
Like a Sway, Sexual would ask, and they wouldn't get any response to. But because it's Nori, Nori is still seen as one of the man them and the team.
He actually is.
So Cam, people like Cam will open up to Noriega, whereas elsewhere he
he's got a good relationship with him.
So I like
which is what I noticed. Let's talk about it. I mean, Hove.
Hello.
It was good to know that him and Hove are cool.
Yeah,
cordial.
Hove brought him out at the B-sides thing a couple years back.
Yeah.
Him and Jim
that's
Jones.
Right.
Yeah. Because Jim Jones is part of Roc Nation now as well.
That's right. So when he was talking about the story with regards to him and Rockefeller and stuff, he made that very clear that him and Hove are absolutely. He said he had a Skype call with him a day or two before. So they're really cool. But it was interesting how they had that competitive energy between each other. So when they were talking about the fact that Jay took him off one of his record, took him off a record. I didn't fully finish the interview. Did they get hold of PD Crack?
I'm not too sure.
Right.
I'm not too sure.
Okay, so because they're basically, I think it was was it his record? Was it his record, PD Crack's record? That they were all on?
I think so, because he was an old boy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He jumped on old boy and Cam was like, I'm not feeling the verse. So he took Jay's verse off of it.
But he mentioned that was a retaliation.
Yep.
That was a blatant petty retaliation
right. Petty.
When because Jay did the same thing to him.
Right.
They had a record. PD Crack, I think PD Crack or State Property had a record.
That was PD Crack.
And Cam was on there, and Tutu's Cam was not on there.
Yeah.
You get me? And so it kind of developed. When Cameron came to Roc Nation, he kind of did take over to a degree. He kind of did set pace and settle in really nicely. He mentioned that obviously he came through Dame.
Yeah.
He wasn't coming to the label to cause any animosity, but obviously he had been done out of a lot of money and contracts and things that had happened to him before.
On the jump,
when because he now had experience and came into this situation, he wanted to put his feet firmly on the ground.
Yeah.
And people were talking about him having secretaries and having people around, and he said he just used the studio a lot of the time when Jay wasn't there or they were away. He was trying to assert himself as a credible artist. And when you think about it, Cameron really didn't emerge until he was
With Rockefeller.
with Rockefeller. We knew about him. We hadn't. Horse and Carriage was
his and What Means the World to You. That's one of his two big tunes he had prior to
Before-
joining Rockefeller.
That's right.
And then after that, he just went clear.
Yeah, he went super clear. I mean, when Old Boy came out, man, I remember Old Boy. I remember doing I was part of a outfit. Trim will know. You might know.
Yep.
Called the Marvel. So we started off as a garage crew.
Okay.
When everybody was crews. You know that time when Lucas said crew. And
Supermalt crew.
Didn't someone try to jack the Marvel thing though? It wasn't. They were Marvel, but they weren't the Marvel.
Yeah, they weren't the Marvel.
Yeah, there were 2 L's at the end, right?
Yeah.
Double S and I remember. Yeah. They came
they
up
were.
on chip. Yeah.
But we didn't.
Cool.
Didn't last long.
Yeah,
Cool.
we were doing our thing.
Right.
I remember we did a rave up in Harrow. Shout out to all my Harrow heads. It was a birthday party. I think at the time, it was someone's birthday, and we promoted a rave. It was packed out. When I tell you this rave was packed out, we were obviously headlining it because it was our shit. Me and my brother Teeks is on the stage. Shout out to Teeks.
Yo.
And 2 twos, bro. I heard clack, clack, clack. Now we're playing. What we used to do was a similar thing to Heartless Crew used to do. Is play garage tunes and then mix in like a hip hop record that was similar tempo, or we change the vibe for a minute.
Right.
From
of course.
just
yeah.
you know, grime MCs. All they used to do is go up on stage and just beat tunes, and it was nothing for the girls, and we kind of wanted to cater for the women.
Of course.
Old Boys just came out. Old Boy, we chopped it up, dropped it. Everybody, you know, when you cut you cut the fader out,
Yeah.
boy, oh boy, and then I heard clack clack. So I've looked over and one of my DJs, Iceman, he was not there. He was gone. He left. But I thought it was firecrackers. I thought
You
like
didn't
someone,
think it was actual.
Clack, clack.
bro. So we just
Ammunition.
so I'm still up there just doing my thing. Yo, blah. I heard
Yeah.
clack, clack, clack. I said, that's gunshot.
Yeah.
Or was it the first time you
I
heard the
said,
clack,
that's
clack?
I said, that's
What was that? The
gunshot.
railway something? Was it there on the hill? Was it on the hill? Just as you start on the hill by the
Moonlight. Remember Moonlight in Harrow?
Yeah.
The bridge. They
I
called
remember
it Bridge
that
Club
day.
before.
Is it like underneath the footpath?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like it's almost like in a little shopping mall kind of
It's,
thing. Huh?
so when as you going towards Harrow on the Hill or Harrow Wheelstone,
Harrow Wheelstone.
as you're going to Harrow Wheelstone,
Above
there's a bridge.
Right.
It's like it's where the train runs under.
train station.
Yeah.
But above it, there used to be a club.
Right.
And it used to be called Bridge Club back in the day. Where they used to play jungle,
Yeah.
and then they changed it, and it was called Moonlight. And at the time, that was the place that people went in Harrow and people over Northwest would go to.
Yeah.
So anyway, bro,
The clack,
no,
clack.
do you remember in Friday when the crackhead, easy,
Yeah.
when the car backfired? Did you see man ducking? Yeah, man, bro, the whole place just it went crazy, and I remember like
There was only one way out though.
Yeah, the back door.
Because
You
no
was
one
there,
knew.
Trim?
Of course I was there. No one knew which way to go. I was okay because I kind of saw what was going on.
that
So
was in there.
I don't know
letting
about
off
all
the
of that.
ting.
I don't know about all of that.
That's what happened,
Weird.
bro.
Weird.
Bro, I keep
Anyway,
it a bona fide, bro.
And so I was like,
bro, I just heard one Donny.
and I just thought to myself, right, let me just. I tried to go out the kitchen.
Trim's acting like it was him.
I tried to go out the kitchen.
Yeah.
And as I've gone through, I was like, right, okay. I didn't know there was food here. But anyway, then I tried to go through the back door. Back door's locked. And then I'm hearing a nut pat pat. And I thought, oh, shit, let's go the other way.
Bro, you know when they shut that place down, they had forensics. Man, them that drove there had to leave their cars there because they had to do all the fucking searching and make sure that everything was, bro, it was peak. Long story, even longer. That was old boy. Let old boy set that thing off.
Oh, boy.
The old boy let off the old boy.
Yeah. And Cam was truly in effect in my mind engraved.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is what this shit does. So I want to shout out to Cam for old boy.
Mad.
Yeah. Killer. Bro, killer Cam, bro. Like, excuse the pun. But it was interesting what he's talking about. Also, he mentioned how Tai inspired him to make money. So what he said was, around the time when he's just come out of college, Cameron's just come out of college. In fact, he got kicked out of college. And he met up with Dame. Dame said, look, I'm going to go get something to eat. Jay's there, blah, blah, blah. Tata's there. So they've gone to some cafe or a restaurant. He didn't mention the specific name. And Cameron's, they've ordered their food, ate their food, and everybody's looked, and the bill's there. Cam said he's got no pee, so he's like, well,
looking at this is Cam. This is Cam. He's like, look, Dame's gonna pick up the tab. He said, Tai said, don't worry, took out a wad of cash. He said he called it a knot, right? This big. And how Cameron described it is because Tai is short. Yeah. At the time he didn't even know how old he was. Yeah. He might have been his age, younger, but he just looked at this young, small kid.
Yeah, he's about 5'6".
Make with a stack of pee, and he's like, if he's making pee like this, I need to go out there. And from that day forward,
he's on it.
Cameron was on.
He's a businessman
on his thing, man. So yeah, man. But it was a good interview. I've got about an hour left to watch. Yeah. But the bit that I was interested in was about what was happening with Jay and how that whole thing happened. Does him and Dame get along?
Who? I would assume
Cameron.
So.
100.
I would assume so. It's just that I think Dame's in a situation now in his life where people mess with Dame. They just don't want to. This is my humble opinion from what I've seen. People just don't want to stand next to Dame. So, do you know what I'm saying? Like they're messing with him, but they just don't want to stand next to him in public because there's still that stigma of you're the loudest guy in the room. Sometimes you're just breathing hot air, and
he's misunderstood, Dame Dash.
Oh, that's the word.
He is.
I thought Kanye was misunderstood, but
do you know what? I understand Dame Dash a lot more. I think Dame Dash just has, his delivery isn't great, but what he's saying is...
He drops gems.
Yeah, he's bang on point. He's so on point. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, what he did and the legacy he built through the whole thing with Jay...
You can't replicate it.
Yeah, you can't... do you know what I mean? It's never going to be replicated.
No.
But great interview. If you haven't seen it yet, Drink Champs, you can watch it on YouTube. Obviously, you can listen to it on all DSPs. Them man there got enough promotion, so I'm not going to big them up too much because them man are getting views.
Yeah,
but moving forward, Joe Budden situation. What's going on there?
Well, it's interesting, but at the same time, I think some people are looking at it the wrong way.
So should we set the premise? Should we set the tone?
Let's lay out the table and then we shall go to eat.
So we are talking about the Joe Budden podcast, and in the last 2 weeks, I would say, maybe 3, Moore and Rory haven't been on the episodes.
Yeah.
And basically those guys make that they are the cogs in the podcast. I feel a lot of people undermine that. I notice a lot of people go, well, Joe, you don't need those boys. You don't need those guys anyway. That's what the rhetoric that I've been hearing.
They've been there for how long?
But I'm used to them. And I know, I have actually heard an Joe Budden episode, without Joe on it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't great because Moore and Rory are, I feel like they don't do enough research.
Okay,
right.
But
so
do they have the personality to hold it?
I think they can if they
but
did
you still
enough.
Need research.
If they for example, like we can all we can feed off each other on this podcast.
Yeah.
And I might come to the podcast one day and just there's a particular subject that I just wasn't well versed in. But because I've got 2 of you, I can lean on you. Do you know what I mean?
When you're not strong.
You know what I mean? But I feel like Moore and Rory, more so.
Yes.
Just comes there, sits there.
Looks mad cool.
But he's
funny.
He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny.
And his one-liners. And obviously his relationship with Joe Budden is impeccable. They've grown up together. They live together. And there's a blatant dynamic, which is why the podcast is so good.
Yeah.
But I have listened to an episode without Joe, Joe is the glue.
Glue, for sure.
It's 100% being the glue.
Yeah.
And I'm without. Okay, so have you listened to any episodes without them?
Yes, I have.
How do you feel about it?
I feel that while it's a team effort, I think some people are blowing it way out of proportion. It's not called Joe, Rory, and Mal podcast. Sorry,
Yeah.
It's called the Joe motherfucking Budden podcast.
Before you continue, do you think that Mo and Rory should have stipulated a little bit more on the name of the podcast before they continued?
Well, this is the thing.
Because it was something, it was another
Remember,
name before.
so my first podcast I ever listened to was the Comeback Jack podcast.
Yes, yep.
May he rest
in
eternal.
peace.
He was really good. And from there, your hunger, like once you like something, you start researching, where can I get more of this?
Yeah.
Joe's podcast, don't forget, was originally called I May Call, what was it?
I May Call.
Later.
Name this podcast.
Right.
Yeah, shout out to Joe.
So,
Not
that
that
Joe, but Joe.
Yeah, because it's Joe.
Joe, right.
But if you listen, then you know that it was Joe.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The quiet sniper, Joe.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
From South.
Yeah, go in the boot, back of the boot.
Paranoia.
Yeah. South side.
Clank, clank, clank. Yeah, so
Gang
I
business. the picture
Even the laughing.
the picture we're painting of this guy, you know.
even the laugh is like, you motherfuckers better not block my spot.
Yeah. Don't. No one even knows I'm here because they can't see my face. They can't see my face. So
I'm a cameraman for
Yeah.
a reason. I'm behind this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Pause.
Shooted. Clack. So I just feel, based on your question, before I forget my point, based on your question, I would say when they were transitioning into, we're calling it now the Joe Budden podcast, breaks, hold on, bro.
Yeah.
Can't you at least put it with Joe and Friends?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You don't have
featuring.
to specifically say my names, but can you say Joe and Friends
Yep.
or something? So I think they messed up there, and they should have done it earlier on.
Absolutely.
So when it blew up, you haven't got to be like renegotiate. Oh, so what? Can't man get a little?
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this show is called the Fast Food Podcast.
Exactly.
It's a play on words for the way we consume information.
Yep, metaphor.
One thing's hot today.
Yep.
And then it's cold tomorrow, like putting it in a microwave. But it's the three of us. Originally it was four.
That's right.
Shout out to everyone that helped create the show. You know what I mean? But I just thought they missed a step there.
They did. I think they did. And because now, obviously, I feel like, all right, I'm going to ask you another question.
Shoot.
What do you think it's based on? Forget about what Joe said on the podcast, because Joe said it's he's giving them a break. They need time out. Rory needs time out.
Yeah.
This, do you know what I mean? There's a situation that he needs to deal with behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I'm hearing that, and I'm thinking, money. It's all I'm thinking.
Okay.
Money. Why I think money is because you turn up for work if you're happy. People turn up for work when they're
regardless. No, I do want to. No, don't watch that.
happy.
I'm
Me?
good.
It's cool. Do you know what I mean? But if
Based
you-
on the environment of your workplace, though.
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But at the same time, they've always spoken about the fact that they're just chill. Like the podcast is almost like doesn't feel like work for them.
Right.
It don't feel like work for them, which is why I'm thinking, okay, if it don't feel like work for you, why are you not there? Do you see what I'm saying? Has there been a transition? Is there something going on behind the scenes where you lot feel like you're not valued?
Valued.
Yeah. You feel me? And I messaged, you saw the tweet. So about 2 weeks ago, actually, 3 weeks ago, I tweeted Joe Budden. Because I'm a fan of the podcast.
Yeah, you are. We are.
Let's keep it 100, right? And Rory was just pissing me off in the episode, blood. Like, just picking on
Megan.
everything. It started before that episode.
Okay, cool. All right.
It was like just nitpicking at everything that Joe said.
Yeah.
And no, it's this and rah. And Joe was like, cool. All right, cool, Rory. Yeah, right. And obviously, when you're boys, you take you light little jabs,
Yeah.
you laugh it off, you keep it moving.
Yeah.
But it started to get a little bit tedious.
Yeah.
And swear to you, I'm driving, I'm listening to that episode that they talk about Meghan Markle, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with Rory? So I've literally got to my destination, pulled out my phone, tweeted Joe, said, bruv, what's wrong with your brethren? Joe's retweeted it with a laugh out loud emoji and that.
Yeah.
And
The shrug emoji.
And I'm like, okay, so now Joe's, without saying anything, is going, I don't know what's wrong with this motherfucker.
Right.
Now, fast forward, I'm hearing Rory, and I'm not a chatty patty, but Rory's going through his own individual
personal stuff.
Personal stuff.
Easily done.
Yeah.
And but I don't know what the situation with Maul is. On the podcast, they said that when Joe told Rory not to come in to do an episode, to do the next episode, Maul was like, bruv, who are you to tell him not to come to the show, so to speak?
It's ours.
It's our thing.
Spoiler alert, it's called the Joe Budden Podcast, but carry on.
Yeah. So there's definitely something going on, and I personally hope they all come back to the show.
Can I play devil's advocate?
Go for it.
I think Maul is playing mediator.
Right.
I think because Maul's relationship with Joe far exceeds Rory's one.
Yeah.
I think Maul is staying away from the show just so it doesn't look like he's being biased and taking sides to Joe.
That's an interesting
So I think he's
take.
staying out of the firing line. And it's like, all right, if Rory ain't there...
Because Rory could, because Maul could just go there.
Maul could just go there.
Yeah.
But I think because Rory's not there, Maul's just be like, right, you two clearly have there's a clash of heads going on about something.
Yeah.
I'm just going to chill back.
Wait till you get it sorted.
Yeah, because then no one can say to me, oh, yeah, well, you two are clearly ganging up on Rory, or Maul, you're biased. And that's understand. By default, Maul is biased to Joe.
Yeah, of course.
Because they grew up together.
Of course.
But he's probably just like, you know what? It's a little bit spicy over there. Let me just chill.
That's interesting.
You two discuss what you got to discuss. Yeah. Let's fix this. I'm not sure if it's a money thing because, again, I think it's too late for it to become a money thing. And the thing is, whenever there's a deal to be brokered or whatever, it's not Joe, Rory, and Maul. It's Joe. Right. Because Joe is the face of the podcast. Do you know what I'm saying?
What I think it's to do with money is because they're at a stage where they obviously the whole saga with the Spotify deal played itself out.
Yeah.
And then obviously they were trying to renegotiate a deal, and then that didn't work out. And then obviously they've gone elsewhere. And Joe's kind of not taking any deals because he feels like the podcast is worth more.
Yeah,
he rambled about that for many episodes.
Sometimes,
But so now they're in a position where they still haven't. They're still obviously they're making money off the pod, whatever. They've gone Patreon as well.
Yeah.
Like I feel like maybe there's a bit of resentment. So we didn't take that P.
Yeah.
And now we're here. And now Joe seems like he's calling shots. He's got a network now. He's got other podcasts. He's got other podcasts he's putting out under his network.
Yeah.
So he's employing more people. All
right, but then a closed mouth doesn't get fed. Is Joe meant to sit there and use his Professor X powers and go, I can think that these men are...
He's the boss.
Right, but I'd like to think if any of us have there's a situation or discussion we need to have in regards to our own podcast, I'd like to believe we'd all, whether it's via WhatsApp video call, Jesus Christ, not another one, but Zoom meeting or something, and let's talk about it.
But we're all bosses.
Fact.
There's a difference. And that's
right, but they haven't positioned themselves
as bosses.
Okay, outside of the Joe Budden podcast, Rory does his little his
events. He does events. Yeah,
cool. All right, what does Maul do? Sorry, how long we got? We got time.
Bruv, as far as I hear, Maul is royalty.
Apparently,
because his brother's Biggs, and Biggs is the whole part of the whole J thing.
Yeah, but there's not. The thing is, I think
I'm not
these
saying
two
that's
guys,
how he makes his money.
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, we're not saying that.
Bro, it was a man that let off the team, by the way. Bro.
You don't need to name that, bro.
Yeah, bro, I didn't say his name.
Relax, bro.
I didn't even know who it was.
Okay, can I just say on behalf of myself and my brethren Trim here, we do not endorse the calling of area code wise, location wise of that person way back then who might still have a chip on their shoulder about hearing "Oh Boy" that night. We've got nothing to do with that. That's purely over there, okay? I don't want no problems.
I just think it's childish. You know what I mean? I just think it's childish.
But they haven't positioned themselves. Like, for example, your boys got a podcast network.
Yeah.
One time, Joe said people keep hitting him up about Rory this, Rory that, and he goes, "Yeah, but I know Rory does not like doing podcasts." But like, he's got a platform. Like,
I was surprised when I heard that.
yeah, but it's like your boy's got a platform there. Maybe if you feel like your point's not getting across because Rory and Maul and Joe sometimes overpower you or whatever point of view. Mm-hmm. When he was on the girls' podcast, he was in his element, man. Yeah. Rory was in his bag.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? So I just think that they need to make a space outside of the Joe Budden podcast so they're bringing value to the thing. So when negotiations are going down, it's like, hold on a minute, bro. It's not just you, Joe. Like me, I do my own little thing that's probably getting me like 50K followers or whatever. Yeah. I'm bringing 50K followers to this.
That's right.
So I'm able to negotiate something a little bit better based off of that because I got my own thing.
So how do you feel about having Joe obviously moving because he's had to? He's got his brethrens.
Well, they're in the studio. They're
all the time anyway.
Well, Save On's part of the show anyway.
He hasn't had Save On for the last two. He's had shit.
Oh, so these are outside Donnies,
his boys.
Okay, cool. Well, the show must go on.
That's right. Yeah,
bro. It's called. Spoiler alert: the Joe Budden podcast.
But what I'm saying to you,
what
I'm saying to you, my point is: Are we willing to get used to these new guys, or are we expecting more?
Bro, I listen to the show because I listen to the show for Joe.
Fair enough.
And Joe needs he needs people to bounce because you can't. A podcast by yourself is very boring unless you're talking about movies and reviews and stuff.
Yeah.
He needs people to bounce off of.
Yeah.
And from what I've seen from those guys, they don't seem to be yes men. They will say, "Yo, Joe, I think it's this job." Like, no. And they'll be like, "All right, cool, Joe."
Yeah.
But I still think it's this.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like Maul is very, I think Meek Mill's the best rapper alive. Joe be like, "No way."
Yeah.
He's not even top 15, top 20.
Yeah.
And then Maul will be like, okay, cool. Now you're right. Yeah, he's top 30. And then Joe will be like, yeah, he's top 30. And Maul will be like, all right, cool. Yeah, I can work with top 30. And it's like, no, stick up for your boy.
Yeah,
if you feel that passionate about something.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, all right. So, in conclusion, I'm still listening to the fucking podcast. Of
course.
It's a good podcast. And I hope, because I'm like that, I hope for the best. And I hope they can work everything out.
Of course.
And the boys can come back and we can continue the journey with them.
For sure.
Shout out to Joe Budden, Maul, Rory, and the rest of the camp. Blessings to you. Fast forward.
It's Parks.
The Fast Food Podcast.